Hello and welcome back, everybody, to Lucy, the eternity she wished for. So, I decided that we're going to play with a Korean voice for now. I don't know, I had nothing against the Japanese voice, but I don't know, I like the Korean one better, and I can't even really put my finger on it. I mean, the Japanese voice was obviously kind of softer, etc. But I don't know, I like the Korean better, from the first impression at least. If I think differently, we can change it mid-episode anyway. So, we left the shop and are heading home now, so let's see what happens. We exit the shop and take a short stroll until we reach the sidewalk. I stop in my tracks. In silence, I kneel down and facing away from Lucy. Hop on. I add an explanation to make sure that she understands. That means you lightly put your arms around my neck and climb onto my back.
저 주인님, 혹시나 해서 묻는 건데요.
What is it?
저 바보 취급하고 있나요?
Huh. I guess I no longer have to worry about being choked to death. I feel her weight gradually shift onto my back. For a robot, she's very light. She was probably measured to weigh as a normal girl. Huh?
왜 그러세요?
No, it's nothing. As soon as she climbs onto my back, I can't help but notice a fragrant aroma rising from her body. It's neither too intense nor fleeting. It gently spreads evenly along my nose. It starts with a sweet, fruity scent, reminiscent of a youthful girl. Uh-huh. Okay. I don't know. Maybe next time I need to like snuffle better. Okay, I don't want to go into that. Yet there is a hint of spice akin to a mature woman. It doesn't fail to stimulate the mind of a teenage boy going through puberty. What kind of animal are you? Are you a dog? I don't know. Do you when you are close to a woman, or if you are a woman, when you're close to a man, do you realize stuff like that? I mean, at least biology claims, and I guess it's right if biology claims that you're actually smells, etc. actually matter, and you take that into consideration and stuff like that. And I get it if it's a perfume or something that smells like really, really intense. But if you're just close to each other, isn't that something that happens subconsciously? I mean, now granted, I know that the other human also has a specific kind of smell, but not like sweet fruity that stimulates the mind, kind of. I don't know, maybe I'm just weird. This is bad. I've never experienced something like this. It didn't happen this morning, but why now? It's probably because of the smell. It wasn't there earlier. Feeling a little faint, I desperately try to get a grasp of the situation.
갑작스럽게 올라가고 있어요. 주인님, 왜 그러시나요?
Okay, you know what? The Korean voice sounds a little bit neutral, though. I mean, I like the color of the voice. It sounds a bit more mature. Maybe that doesn't really fit all that much to such a teenage robot, but I like the color of the voice. But it sounds a bit indifferent, you know? She's measuring my heart rate. That's not fair. I feel a little embarrassed for revealing that I'm a nervous wreck right now. Unable to hold back, I decide to be honest to myself. The smell. What is it?
아하, 이 냄새 때문인가요? 아저씨께서 여러 가지를 선물로 주셨답니다. 여자아이니까 자기 관리는 스스로 해야 한다면서.
She takes out a bottle of perfume amongst many other makeup accessories. Jeez, that guy is scary. Really scary. Well, that explains that, I guess. He's the type of person who'd spend the whole day forcing his pet dog into a different clothing. If you'd consider that as animal abuse, wouldn't this be some kind of robot harassment? Well, I don't know. Alrighty. Between the recording of the first 5 minutes and the stuff I'm recording now, I think I had like a week break. I was interrupted and then I never picked it up again for some reasons. So I thought, let's finally do this. I haven't played this in like a week. And let's do the final 20 minutes until we have reached the 3-hour mark. And then, as mentioned in the episodes before, I'll finish the game by myself and tell you my thoughts about it. Alrighty, here we go. Huh. Oh, and by the way, I changed back to the Japanese voice actor. Because I felt like it, basically. Huh. Well, I don't know. Oh, this is you. I was waiting for the voice actor to start talking. All this stuff just for a robot. What a silly guy. Why are you laughing? Oh, whoops. Had I just been seduced by a robot? Well, there goes all of my dignity as a human being. What are you going on about now? I purposely tried to sound irritated. It doesn't affect her in any way, however. Of course, you're heavy. You're lighter than expected. So, be a dick or be normal. Well, if I wanted to be more in character, so far Ernesto, or you as he prefers to be called, was a dick. So it would be more in character. But since... But since I am the decider around here, we're deciding not to be a dick. Well, you're lighter than I'd expected. Yeah. Is that supposed to be funny? Have you been deceived all your life? Maybe I was being too rough on her. I didn't think she'd start being so skeptical. Before I ruin her completely, I decide to treat you a little kinder from now on. Just a little, because I'm a dick. I hear a small giggle coming from my back. Would a robot really feel that flattered to be called light? I don't know. Humans can't be expected to understand a robot's heart. Close to home? Soon enough, the streets became immersed in the orange glow of the evening sun. The scenery was changing, more slowly than usual today. Maybe it's because I'd been carrying Lucy on my back. But it's not that a lot of time had passed. Winter was just on its way, as evidenced by these increasingly shorter days. Lucy hasn't said anything for a while. What? Stealing a glance at her, wondering if she's asleep, but she is not. She appears to be lost in thought, staring at everything inside. She looks like a child inside a pleasant dream. I can see her eyes sparkling. Is it really that fascinating? This place. I can't say if I agree with that. Unlike downtown, there aren't many distractions here to keep us busy. Nor are we near any beautiful landscapes. We're just walking down a plain old street that you can find anywhere. What part of this place do you find marvelous? Everything? Man, I really want to hear the Korean voice actor talk as well. I hate it when there are like two dubs. I just can't decide. I just can't. I was always that kid, like when it had to choose between two kinds of ice cream. You know, the ice would be melted before I decided.
別の何かに変わっていく姿がこうしてゆっくり景色を眺められるということが、そういうのがとても不思議に思います。本当に素晴らしいと思います。
Ah, sorry, Lucy. I see. I couldn't relate to the sensation she had just described. Well, probably because you're dumb. I'm just saying. You know, something new you have never seen but always wanted to see. And that is so hard to understand. What is it?
本当に申し訳ありません。
What's with you all of a sudden? I'm caught off guard by the unexpected apology. Had she really done anything wrong?
ルーシーが今日迷惑ばかりかけましたよね。申し訳ございません。
You know, I'm sorry that I'm interrupting the scene again. I'm trying to not do that, but sometimes I have to say stuff. I really like the music, but I think it is way too early in the game for a music like this. This is like the romance gets finally kicked off music, you know? The music itself is awesome. I just think it, I don't know, seems like way too much for this scene here. I also kind of feel like them bonding is a bit rushed right here, but you know.
制作段階では他人を理解できる包容力をメインコンセプトにして設計されたのですが。
I found it strange how Lucy was telling me what kind of person she was supposed to be. If anyone other than Lucy had told me the same thing, I'd probably have laughed at them. Anyone by himself would never be able to find out what kind of a person he truly is. Sitting in front of a mirror reveals all the flaws of your body. Sitting in front of a person reveals all the flaws in your personality. If you ever want to find out something about yourself, it needs to be reflected back to you by something else. That is why attempting to describe your own personality is the same as describing what kind of person you'd actually want to be. There is some truth to that. That is why I always hated in job interviews if they ask, please talk about your strengths and your weaknesses. Like, first of all, you don't want to really know, first of all. And second of all, like, my perspective is probably in some way really screwed up, you know? It would just be a bunch of pretentious nonsense. Exactly. But this is only the case for humans. Lucy's an android. She is not human. That's why it doesn't sound strange coming from her.
初めてマスターになる人に巡り会えて嬉しかったんです。久しぶりの起動だったからか騒ぎ立ててしまったこともありますが。
It was such a natural explanation about how she felt. She was happy to meet her first master. And she was happy to be able to finally move around again. You've never served anyone else before?
はい。マスターが初めてのマスターです。
Is that so? So she's a new model that no one has ever touched. That line of thinking sounds dirty, but that is not what I mean.
研究所にいた頃は楽しかったです。そこにいたみんながよくしてくれました。いろいろな話をして、いろいろなことを教わりました。
A lamp, did she say? Oh, I'm sure they treated her well.
何か面白い答えを出したり、指示された行動をすると、たくさんの人が喜んでくれたんです。特に真面目に貢献した時には、ルーシーは本当に賢いと頭を撫でながら褒めてくださいました。ルーシーはそれがとても嬉しかった。嬉しくて、もっとたくさんのことを学び、もっとたくさん話をしました。そうすればするほど、もっと可愛がってくれたんです。
They were probably just testing her abilities. In my mind, I found the whole scenario unsettling. To Lucy, however, it's a treasured memory of her past. Yeah, that's a fair point, you know. Actually, when you look with an outside perspective, what is to her like a very personal experience might to the researchers be just, you know, the proof of their own success. Although, if I remember correctly from the short flashback we had from this one researcher, Sin didn't seem to be a bad person, right? But there's an important question yet to be answered. Then why were you abandoned? I've always been meaning to ask her. Always? Yeah, see, that is the point I just made. This is the first time they, like, actually talk. And we have super romantic music, and they're already, like, so... It seems like they're way too close to each other for what we have done so far. I ask myself why. Maybe it's because I'm starting to care about this robot's feelings. I shake my head. That's just plain nuts. It's only because she just sounds like a real human being. It's a dangerous thought. You know, sometimes I'm not satisfiable. Or actually, it's quite easy to satisfy me. Try to write something that feels like a human would do that. This guy is only, like, thinking in extremes. And now granted, there are people who only think in extremes. No doubt about it, sadly. But it's not a common thing. Let's at least say it like this. It's not the most common thing. So, he's either thinking, it's a robot, I can't care for her. Or he's feeling, oh wow, her story is actually so super touching, even though I barely know her. You know, like either or. We need to find the in-between. You know what I'm saying? Let's get it out of my hat. I blurt out the question. Then why were you abandoned? Lucy goes silent. Nothing is said for a while. The quietness stretches into an awkward silence. I start to regret asking the question. With those words, Lucy finally breaks the silence. Lucy goes silent once more. Then one day she found herself left in the dust, is what she probably wanted to say. Maybe they didn't like something about her, or they found a significant flaw within her design. But I don't like the fact that they just had just tossed her aside after giving her so much love and attention. Aren't they being too inconsiderate? A small rage boils inside of me, directed at those cruel researchers with no sense of responsibility. When I regain my senses after a few seconds, I become surprised at how angry I was. Yeah, because she's just a robot. What was I thinking? They were just throwing away a failed experiment. The object on my back is nothing more than an impressive fake. She's not real. She's not a living creature. It's only natural that useless machinery is thrown away. There's no need for me to be so angry. It's nothing. And stop measuring that all the time. Then it's an order. I order you not to measure anything from now on. There is another silence, but this time, not an unpleasant one. I just can't seem to figure out this robot's train of thought. What? I don't remember talking to you like that. Hey, girl, don't try to get on my good side. I'm not that easily swayed. But thank you.
初めて一筋の光が差したのです。ルーシーに何度も何度も声をかけてくれました。
You are overreacting. Actually, she's not, to be fair. I mean, you're basically her lifesaver. So, you know, she's definitely going overboard with this. I just happened to notice her while casually passing
マ
by.
スターに気づいてもらえるよう必死でした。残りの力を振り絞って、そしたら今まで動かなかった腕が動いたのです。
They were only a few words, which didn't contain any significant meaning. It was only for a moment's whim that I'd taken her home. But I was surprised those simple actions were such a big help to the robot.
ルーシーに手を差し伸べてくれたこと、本当に感謝しています。
Being able to say the most embarrassing things without hesitation. I guess that is one of the advantages of being a robot. I can feel my face beginning to flush. I quickly duck in order to hide my embarrassment. Shut up. I'm gonna make you pay for what you're worth. So you'd better be ready for it.
はい、マスター。覚悟しておきます。
What is so funny? Why do you keep laughing like that? It is creeping me out.
わかりません。さっきから笑いが自然とこみ上げてくるんです。故障みたいです。どうしましょう。
Lucy quietly rests her cheek against my shoulder. The sensation of her soft skin causes me to flinch. She feels very much different compared to this morning. It feels as if I'm carrying a real person on my back instead of a robot. I start to wonder what could be causing this difference in perception. Was it just a placebo effect? Or had something really changed since this morning? If something really did change, was it me? Or the robot? I continued to ponder over the question on the way home. I never managed to come up with an answer. Ow. Yeah, okay. You know what? Before we start, like a new scene, and, stop right in the middle of it, let's end this here. So, my thoughts so far. First of all, let's get the negative stuff out of the way first. The negative stuff I already mentioned, but to sum it up in the end. First of all, I am not the biggest fan of our main character. I feel like he acts very unnatural. Or if he's not unnatural, at least he goes on my nerve. I don't know. People who are always to the extreme, it's just annoying. And then all this, how can I feel? How can I feel bad for a robot? How can I this and that for a robot? Is it me who is changing, or is it the robot? It's uncreative. It feels like not much thought went into this, into this character. So yeah, not the biggest fan of that. I like the art. I like her design, and I also enjoy the shop guy's design. So yeah, that's not bad. The overall story could be interesting. I mean, it depends on the execution. As mentioned in the very beginning, I'm always a fan of media asking, what is human life? When does human life start? What is human life about? What is a human? What is not? Always an interesting question. So I think the story could be really interesting, but that really depends on the execution, because some of my favorite stories have to do with that topic, but actually one of my least favorite stories of all time has to do with a similar topic. So yeah, this can be really good or really bad. Also in between, but I'm just saying it could also be really bad. That I don't know yet. So, but I'll give it the benefit of the doubt. I like the story idea, and I'm interested to see where the story will go overall. What else? The music is not bad, I think. As mentioned, I think the music here was a bit misused. But the track itself was awesome, I think. So, it's still good, but, what else? The writing itself is not all that bad. I mean, style-wise. As mentioned, our main character has a stick up its ass, up his ass, and that kind of annoys me. And it's very cliche-ish how he behaves, like it's the most typical robot story of all time, as it seems, But the writing itself, I have nothing against so far. So yeah, I think that is all I can talk about. So, to sum it up, Batman character, a bit too much cliche stuff, way too cliche stuff so far. And with cliches, I don't mean like that it's bad that's a story about a robot or anything, but just the execution of the story. It brings nothing new to the nothing really new to the table so far, story-wise. But the story, on the good side, I like the art, I like the music, and the story could become interesting. So far it seems very cliche-ish, but it could be very interesting. So, what I'll do is, I'ma finish the game, and then I'll tell you my thoughts about it. And remember, if you enjoyed this game is on Steam. I always say, if you enjoy something, go buy it, go purchase it, support the creators, because that way we get more awesome stuff in the future. So, thank everybody for watching. Come back for my summary of the game. And I'll see you then. Bye bye.